You guys are bots.
Ironic considering that there was 13 kills total and everyone had like 2 kills, so the maximum amount of kills this guy could have had was like literally 3.
Copy. Jaguar 3-0 en route for personal radar.
It's crazy that as bad as those kills were, I still got more kills than anyone else that was in the lobby, like in my team at least. And I was just like, I literally cannot believe this.
What are you aiming at? What are you aiming at?
Like, literally, how is this any fair at all? And that's the thing. The whole issue that I've had with this game in recent time was that SBMM was already bad, and then it only got worse and worse and worse. And now it comes to the point where sometimes you're just matched with people that just, it doesn't make sense at all. In a lot of the clips that I'm going to show, there's often an issue where people who literally are at like the bottom of the barrel, and like no fault to them, but these people usually aren't very good at the game. They're very casual players that just, you know, hop on their Xbox or PS4 after work or after a hard day at school or anything like that. There are people who are really good at the game who can play and stuff like that, but they encounter the same issue where maybe once in a while they'll get in a game where like 3 or 4 of the players are really good, and then they can try to help each other out to carry. But then the issue arises where they get stuck in the same thing where they get in a lobby where a lot of their teammates are just not that very good, and then they end up getting destroyed because, you know, they try their best to carry these games, and it's almost for nothing because they end up getting something like 32-11, for example, just for the rest of their teammates to combine for like 54 and 89. Also, for the context of the background, I can't see it too well because I'm recording the audio for this, but I'm going against, like, I'm pretty sure it was a 5-man or a 6-man, and this 6-man was using, almost everyone was using meta, and they were all doing callouts and stuff to each other. Like, I literally cannot believe that this is what skill-based matchmaking has come to. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna outgun 3 people that are just always pointing their guns at me. Like, I don't think it's even possible. Just to show you the calculation, the literal total score of this team at the end was 75 kills. They contributed to 75% of all attacks, of all kills in the team. A 5-man. Another thing that sucks about this game is that there's been so much of a record amount of hackers in Warzone multiplayer and every other aspect of COD that you literally can't tell who's cheating and who's not. Like, maybe this guy wasn't cheating, but with the amount of hackers there's been, I have no idea if he had walls or something, because the entire match he was just doing that. Just getting a lot of suspicious kills where whenever he, like, the person was around the corner, he'd kill them really fast, but whenever he was in a gunfight, he just couldn't do it. I'm just going to keep listing off a lot of aspects of the game that I just don't really like, and I'm just going to go a little bit more into depth until I just end the video. A lot of maps in the game are really, really poorly designed. Like, why is it that so many maps give you an advantage if you decide to hold a certain angle, but if you decide to be aggressive on the map, it almost never works out? The only map that it either works to be extremely aggressive or extremely non-aggressive are Gunrunner, Hackney Yard, Shoot House, Condor Hideout, Kill House, or any of the gunfight maps. Like, these maps aren't perfect, but they're literally the best shot that you have of either being extremely aggressive or having to deal with people who are extremely defensive. A lot of people can make the excuse that you can go, oh, just get better at the game, get better at rushing, get better in this and that. There's only so much of that you can do until you realize that maybe the maps that you're playing on just aren't built well. Another subject that I'm going to cover is meta weapons, because we all know that Call of Duty has had an infamous history, especially in recent time, where they will simply add a gun into the game, it will be OP, and then either they nerf it down to the point where it's not OP anymore, or the gun just stays OP forever. Like the AS Val, or the 725, or the CR56 Uzi, the SPR and the Kar98. These are literally guns that I almost will always see in a match. It's so rare that these guns aren't used. These guns are literally meta because each weapon either has too fast of a fire rate, too much range, too much one-shot potential, or the guns are just not built like for any kind of counter ability. SBMM, you already know what the whole issue is. I'm not even going to cover it again. I think the absolute worst thing that somehow they haven't been able to do with this game is get an actual working anti-cheat that works in-game. Like, how are you going to tell me a game that surpassed $2.28 billion in revenue cannot invest even $1 million into an anti-cheat that is impenetrable? And the fact that they targeted accounts that had unlock tools rather than actual hackers with aimbot just shows you how money hungry Activision has become. The fact that they don't even bother to try to fix the problems, and it's the higher ups I'm talking about, because I know the developers and everyone working on the game would want to improve it, but the people who are higher up just want their money and they don't care about anyone. That's why honestly I'm gonna start uploading other stuff too, like Apex, or even stuff like Roblox is more fun right now than the state that this game's in. Like, how did Call of Duty go from a game that was so focused on improving all aspects of the game, mechanics, animations, getting advice from players who play the game often, to a company that just doesn't listen to anyone anymore, that only cashes in and that's it? And the fact that pros and content creators alike are both moving away from the game and playing almost everything else that they can get their hands on just shows you how bad the problem's getting. I won't touch into the subject too much, but Cold War in general was just not a good game. Everyone already knew the game was being rushed by the fact that they never delayed it, and when they released it there was already a ton of problems in the game, but everyone tried to shy away from it. And I remember everyone also noticed that it was nothing like the beta or the alpha, and because everyone remembered that the alpha was like the best version of the game, and when we got in the final game, it just wasn't good. So when it comes to my content, I'll still be touching on Call of Duty a lot, but if the state of Call of Duty just doesn't improve, I don't know if I'll try to post almost anything of it. I'll just post occasionally, or just post older games, you know, like Black Ops 3 or whatever. Because it's just sad, you know, like, I played Call of Duty ever since, like, Modern Warfare, like, 3 came out. I was kind of young when Modern Warfare 3 came out, and I was playing it when it was super active, and I remember how fun the games were, and like I remember Black Ops 1 came out like 2 and I played it and I loved it. It was the first game that I actually owned on my 360. And then I got Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 2 was kind of in a direction that I didn't like, but the multiplayer still smacked though. It was still amazing and I loved it. But recently it just seems like all the love's been sapped out of the series, and for it to make a comeback, it's gonna be a pretty hard one. So yeah, that's my little rant about it. I'm gonna see what videos I make for the future, because right now I'm very unclear what I'm gonna record, but maybe I'll have some ideas soon enough. So, see y'all in the next video.